Odds and Ends, Bits and Pieces by our special guest, one of them, Warren Smith. And Warren, that was a biggie for you, wasn't it?
Well, I guess so. Over in the States, it went up to #1 and stayed in the top 10 for about 12 weeks, so that was real fascinating to me still, you know.
Written by a lovable guy we had in the studio for 7 hours over a 3-week period, Harlan Howard.
Right, he's a great songwriter.
Good fisherman, too, he tells me. But he's a character. You've never tried to live in Nashville or anything like that, Warren, did you?
I tried it for about 3 hours one time.
What did you like about it?
Nothing.
The bus out.
Yeah, but...
Why is that? What did you like about it? I don't think 3 hours is much for giving it much.
Well, that's just like trying to go to Hollywood to get in the pictures. See, at the time I was trying to get into the music business, and it was just awful. It was cold and sleeting and snowing, you know, and you couldn't talk to anyone. So I left.
That was July, was it?
And about a year later, well, I happened to sign up with Liberty, and I had a hit record, you know. So I went back, and they gave me the keys to town then, you know.
But you never thought then of moving to Nashville?
No, sir, never have since either. You know, it's a fine place, you know, but not for a musician to live. Personally, I don't think.
Oh, you probably agree, buddy. You haven't done it either.
Well, I lived in Nashville for about 12 years, 10 or 12 years.
Oh.
And I lived in Macon, Georgia for quite a while. Then we moved into Nashville. But I was there for a little bit different reason than Warren was. Like, I was working my booking out of Nashville and working through a couple of agents in Nashville. Plus, I was lucky enough to run across Bob Montgomery, just one of the best producers in the business. And we cut this Gypsy Man album with Bob. So I had some pretty good relations there myself. And but when I came to Nashville, I had come off of a string of hit records, so I was in a little different situation than Warren was, and I didn't have such a hard time, you know.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
The worst thing is he's at a meeting. That's the greatest thing when you ring anybody up. Right, well, we got this is a roulette record of yours. Somebody Touched Me. This is not the gospel song, though, is it?
No, this is an old, Ahmed Ernigan wrote this thing years and years ago for a lady named Ruth Brown, and I played a lot of old rock and roll shows with Ruth Brown around New York and Philadelphia. And then we got together and rewrote the song again and re-released it because I'd always liked the song. And it came out completely different, but we ended up with a pretty good-sized hit record on it.
Last night, a stranger took my hand. Well, last night a stranger took my hand. She said, "You're gonna be my love, no matter who in the dark last night."
Yeah, you're listening to London Country on Radio London. That was our very, very special guest, Buddy Knox, and Somebody Touched Me. That's the first bit of rockabilly we did, but we have to have a little bit because, of course, is that where you're at now? Are you a country singer, Buddy, or a rock singer?
Middle of the road, yeah. We're still doing the Tex-Mex country rock sound, the same thing. I haven't changed my style or anything out all over the years.
What about you, Warren? When you're working, well, how do you feel? Do you listen to? I suppose there's not really much rockabilly you can listen to, really. Do you listen to the country station when you're in Texas?
All the time, and well, there's not too much ball of the road down there. You know, you're either country or you're either pop. You know, it's Texas especially. You know.
What is your job? What do you when you left the business? What did you do for a living?
I am personnel man for a factory down there. We have about 1,800 employees, and I've been with them for nearly 4 years as personnel manager.
Oh, do you enjoy it?
Well, not really. You know,
once you got the music in your blood.
Yes, and I was talking to Buddy about that about an hour and a half ago before we came over here. You know, it's a good job, and it has security in it, but still, you know, when you get out on a show like tonight we're going to play on, it just brings back so many memories. You just get sad, you know.
Tonight now, when you step on stage, how many years has it been since you actually performed in front of an audience?
6.
Wow. So you're really looking forward to it, I think, with a...
You're talking about biting on a bullet.
Well, this is one which you're going to do tonight, aren't you?
Right. This is the second song I cut in my life, and it's rock.
And it was a Sun label?
Sun label.
And what was it called?
You Bang You Stomp.
Well, I rock over Italy and I rock over Spain. I rock in
Well, that's Warren Smith, and Warren, that's a nice one. Now you've reminded yourself what it sounds like. Did you know the words to that? Did you have to relearn them?
I wrote them down a couple of months ago. You know,
when you got a call. Listen, I'd like to thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. Next time you come over, we'll have more time to talk about your career and country music.
well, I hope I get a chance to come back, Graham. How about it? I'm on the spot now, horse.
He's taking a contract out of his pocket this very minute. And of course, the show is the Sun Sound, and it's at the Rainbow Theatre tonight and tomorrow. And Graham says that if you haven't got a ticket, there's better chances to try tomorrow night, isn't it?
6:30, not 7:45.
6:30, not 7:45. He says 6:30. The Rainbow Theatre tomorrow is the best time to get it, but the shows, of course, is on today and tomorrow. And Buddy, we're going to say goodbye to you now because you have to go and rehearse. Thank you very much for coming.
You're more than welcome. It's really a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And this is one that you asked for, which is written by Sonny Curtis.
Right, and Bobby Goldsberry and myself and Sonny played the guitar parts and everything on this, and this is one of my favorite songs right here. It's an awful fine song. Sonny's a great writer.
What's it called?
It's a thing called Gypsy Man.
Yeah, Buddy Knox, who's just left. Fascinating man, and in fact, he's staying over for a while, so we're going to have him on next week, and we're going to do a complete program and talk about, there'll be plenty of good country music and really interesting man. We're going to say hello to Charlie Feathers, a man who I have never met till this very second, is one of the living legends of rockabilly and country music. Charlie, welcome to London.
Bob Powell, it's really a pleasure. Really a pleasure being here with you, man.
Is this your first time in this country?
Indeed it is.
So you must have had a lot of letters. I know you've had English fans visiting you, and they're all dreaming of the moment that you're turning up, and here you are.
That's great. A 10-4 on the letters. I tell you right now, it is. It's mighty fine people over here, man. I really enjoy being here.
Well, we're only too delighted to have you. Have you done your setting up at the Rainbow yet?
Oh, yeah, we're ready to go. I'm going to tell you, all they got to do is come on down and see a big show tonight.
Right.
Well, I'll play my heart out.
You're going to do that,
I'll guarantee you.
Are you a piano player or a guitarist? Or?
No, I can figure some things out on piano.
Right.
You write me a hit song, and I guarantee you, if you tell me to play it on piano, I'll play it on piano. You tell me to play it on guitar, do it on guitar. Do it on bass, drums, anything you want it on.
What about Defrost Your Heart?
Yes, sirree.
Okay, why don't we play that? I think that's the one we're playing. You know, I'm right. That's unusual for me. It's Charlie Feathers, a special guest, London Country, Defrost Your Heart.
Like you did not long ago, when I know you loved me so, but I can see that my hopes are all in vain.
Defrost Your Heart there by our guest Charlie Feathers. We're saying that's one side. In fact, that was issued on a record on the Charlie label, but that's one side of a Sun record which I've got, and we're going to play the other side. And the price that people are offering for these, Charlie, is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. It's three of them, the Flip and the Sun. That was on Sun too.
Right.
The one we just heard. Yeah. And it was cut 706 Union in Memphis.
If you'd kept it, gosh, if you'd just kept 100 of each, you'd be rich.
Man, I'd feel proud I've had two.
Where do you come from? Are you from the Memphis area?
Memphis. Played Memphis music all my life. Arranged a lot of Elvis's big tunes. Matter of fact, all of them was Sun.
Really? How did you get to meet Sam Phillips there?
Back in 49. 49, that's about when it started. You know, I piddled around there, then I left and went out to Texas, and then I came back a little later and got in there and worked with guys like Doug Poindexter, about the first white artist, you know that. Yeah. Then next was, I put a thing down called Blue Moon of Kentucky, Bill Monroe tune.
Right.
And we got Elvis in there later, and we got up there, and we got a pretty good sound, slapback sound and all that. And a lot of people, where I go, they still wonder what slapback is.
The bass,
you know,
yeah.
and a lot of people know what slapback is now, but they wonder how they got it.
Explain what it is, can you?
Well, it's just you leave one of your channels open nowhere, and we had a 7.5 tape going, hitting it. You know, we had two voices. So back then you heard Elvis, you heard two voices, even though we did just have a one track. We pulled the one with the slapback up behind it, see?
Right.
And brighten it just a little.
And that's the sort of the...
And the first voice was just as dead, as no echo and no nothing on it. And we just, see, buried it right there. And the other companies, like RCA, a lot of companies, they just put you in that slapback sound, you know, and it didn't sound like the same one.
It's amazing. Well, we got an album here called Rockabilly Kings. Doesn't look a bit like you.
No, that's a few years ago.
Right, and this one I know so very well. And we got a track called, One Hand
Loose. Right. That's Cutting King Studio there in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Stanley Nathan, wasn't he the guy?
Nathan, that's right. He's dead now.
Right.
And, well, he called me, and me and Sam wasn't getting along good, and I just got off under contract, so he just flew down there, and I went up there. But I'm going to tell you, it was just like getting out of Cadillac into a Ford.
Oh, really?
See, yeah, I was used to the slapback sound.
Right.
And once you get used to it, even though the concert that I did there, we didn't use it on there. That's just a true, no echo, no nothing on that. And you couldn't cut that in that Sun studio. You could take about 3 pieces going there. Oh man, you get a sound that Nashville, all of them couldn't compete with it.
Right.
See.
Well, let's hear the Cincinnati sound. This is.
Yeah, that's they had echo chamber there. You know, I never seen an echo chamber before. Didn't know what it was.
Charlie Feathers.
I'm a tip-top daddy, and I'm gonna hide my way deep away from the corner.